Hey, are you one of those people who've thought about making the switch to solar but think the upfront costs are maybe a little too high? If so, you're not alone. Our next guest is here to educate us on the real costs of solar. Artie Rose is the president of Solar Alliance of San Diego. Good morning. Good to see you again.
Hi, Greg. I want to thank you again for inviting me down.
Well, it's good to have you as always. Hey, one of the first things you hear from people every day is, I'd love to go solar, but it just costs too much. I can't afford it. You say you can't afford not to.
Well, it depends on people's homes. Some people do use a lot of electricity, and it can be cost effective. Solar is not for everybody. But I think if the average person just took the time, 15, 20 minutes of their day, and at least looked into it. Most people, Greg, have heard that solar energy costs tens of thousands of dollars. Well, that's like talking to someone that spoke to a doctor that did a diagnosis on their body. I think it's important that people, if they are interested in solar, at least take the time, check out the out-of-pocket expenses, see what the initial investment is, and another thing is, how long does it take to pay back?
Yeah, and that's the big thing. You say you're either going to pay for the system and own it, or you're going to pay for the system and not own it.
Exactly.
Either way, you're going to pay for it.
Yes, as the viewers can see, with our program, the Solar Stimulus Program, number one, there is no out-of-pocket expense. So from day one, their meter spins backwards and people start to receive a return on an investment.
And explain that briefly, no out-of-pocket expense.
Well, basically what we do is, assuming people qualify, and people do have to qualify, we literally supply the equipment, the installation, pay for the permits, and pay for the tax. And from day one, we're receiving utility savings. And something I mentioned to you earlier is that we are looking for some viewers that can actually help us monitor utility bills over the next 12 months. Those people that are selected, they'll actually be paid to send us a copy of their utility bills for the next 12 months.
And, you're talking about the no out-of-pocket expenses. I mean, these are some of the big rebates that people will get right now if they qualify.
Right. Let's assume somebody qualifies, Greg. First thing that happens, again, the system goes on their home. Within 30 days, the Center for Sustainable Energy, which is a nonprofit organization, sends the homeowner a check. And that check could be anywhere from 10 to 20% of the cost of the system, depending upon the size of the system.
Another myth people I hear a lot is, costs are coming down on solar. I think I'm just going to wait, see how the technology improves. You say, hey, the technology's improved, costs aren't getting any lower.
Well, I've actually been in the industry since 1984, and obviously things have come down since 1984, mostly because of the technology. For instance, in the old days, you used to have batteries and store the energy in your garage, basically. These days, through the technology, we've been able to take this energy that we get from the sun and put it directly into the grid.
Right back into the grid, and that's when
that's how your meter spins backwards.
And another thing, the equipment doesn't have to be replaced. In the old days, the batteries were an issue, right?
You bet they were. These days, basically what I love about the systems these days is that once they're installed on someone's home, there is no maintenance. Basically, we have panels. The panel runs through wires. The wires are connected to an inverter. The inverter goes into the meter, and it's done.
So right now, if people are looking to, possibly go solar, good idea, give you a call, 15, 20 minutes of their time, and you even have a great offer today for viewers.
Right. Those viewers, at least for the first 10, again, we're looking for people that we can evaluate their utility bills. If they qualify for the Solar Stimulus Program, again, number one, we'll offer them just for 15, 20 minutes of their time, they can choose between a digital camera or a Bluetooth. If they qualify for the Solar Stimulus Program, we'll install the system on their home. The day of the installation, we'll actually present them with a check for $1,200, which would be applied for all of the bills that they would send us over a 12-month period.
And I'm trying to play with this camera here. This is really cool. So to the first 10 callers who set up an appointment, it's a free Bluetooth or free digital camera. And we see on the screen how people can get a hold of you. It's first 10 callers, 619-528-2277. And they have to have a utility bill over $150.
Over $150, and I think you'd agree, Greg, for those viewers, why not learn the facts? Take 15, 20 minutes of your time, because as we discussed earlier, you're either going to pay for solar energy and own it, or you're going to pay for it and not own it. It's just a question of taking the same money you're already spending and put it on your roof.
All right, Artie Rose with Solar Alliance of San Diego. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for your time, Greg.
All right, and of course, more information, just go to our website, san diego6.com.